All right, we are live on Religion Zero. I think 18. I'm so
18.
bad with numbers. All right, we are 18. We were going to talk about spirituality and violence, but first, as you can see in our panel, there is Conk, Brooke, and Conk 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. Of which YouTube is probably going to kill the stream, but we'll hope for the best.
Oh yeah, you know what? Isn't that the whole point of this topic though? Is sticking to the man? Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well,
you want to explain what's happening? We're waiting on Abu American.
So yeah, there might have been some communication errors. We're not sure, or there might be some disconnection problems. There definitely is with my internet. That's why I have 2 accounts up at the moment. My computer is hosting the stream, and then I actually have to use my phone because it actually is better service than my internet to talk. So that's why you get double trouble from me today. But if Abu can make it in, that's awesome. If not, we can throw it to next week or sometime in the future and give the topic its good justice because it's a personal favorite of mine. I love talking about violence and the fun of it. So, no, I'm just kidding. We're all very big pacifists. We must all obey and serve.
Take an ass whooping like a man,
Yeah, totally. Is that what religious people do? Who knows?
Well,
Brooke.
Depends.
Yeah. So, Brooke, what's going on in your world?
Nothing much, man. As I say, I was asking you about this topic when you first posted it, and I was like, okay, I'm not sure how we're going with this, especially if we're going to have Abu American on. I'm not sure if he's going to be joining us or not. As Corey just said, we could always push it off because he is a fascinating, brother to talk to. Has some great insights in terms of, his military career and how he's raising his kids for self-defense and stuff like that. So yeah, it'll be, I was kind of saving it up for that. So I don't really have very much to contribute outside of having a guest on. But other than that, yeah, I'm doing all right. I got to go and trim the beard. It's starting to get ridiculous. I don't know where in Abadir is a good place to get the beard trimmed, which is why it's getting ridiculous. I don't want to go somewhere and they shave the goddamn thing off. I actually like it. And it's going to save me a fortune for my Halloween costume because obviously I'm going to go as Ragnar Lothbrok from Vikings.
Oh, look at that.
Yes,
you're just gonna get the Mohawk ponytail, right?
Yeah. Well, no, in the later seasons he was bald with the tattoo.
Oh yeah.
So,
now you just need a Sharpie. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, as well as we are a man down. For anybody who might be joining in, no 10K Rum podcast today. AMOS has got some errands to run. He didn't give me the details. He just kind of rushed off. So it's just gonna be today's show. And I think I might be taking the day easy, man. I got my pizza in the back. No address, so nobody could come and visit me. Let's just see how the day goes, man. If it's a slow day, I'm good with that as well. So, what about you, man? How's the move going? I know that's been a thing.
Oh yeah. So last weekend we got our dirt shoveled, and that destroyed my body physically and emotionally. And then last second Friday, so I originally had nobody helping me move, and I was just gonna hoof it all myself. And then at the last second, one of my Stephen Green, a friend of the show, was able to help me unload, and then my brother was able to help me load out of because I had all of my furniture in a big storage unit. Right. It actually wasn't big; it was tiny and heavily Tetrised in, right? And so my brother was able to help me unload it from there, and I was able to get Stephen Green and I were able to unload it into the house. Which actually was much harder because we had to go down a very, very tiny, narrow stairway to get everything in there. And I don't know if you know much about moving into tiny stairwells, but that is the worst part.
Oh, dude, my place in Waltham Abbey in Essex, where I came from, had one of those very tiny stairs.
Yeah,
you had to disassemble like a click-clack couch and a couple other chairs. Even my mattress, which is bendable. I mean, you could fucking bend a mattress, right? They had trouble getting it's not even like a king size or anything. They had trouble getting that. So yeah, I totally get. I had two floors, I think. So it was the ground floor, first floor, and the second floor. We were on the top floor. In the ass, man. Yeah, I totally.
Yeah. So yeah, we were able to do that Friday evening. So I actually took off work early and ran out and did that. Grabbed a U-Haul. And they double charged me, but I didn't have time to deal with it. So now I got to call them later, tell them they double charged me. And so I'm glad it's done, but it was like my body needs to recover again. And so today I'm going over to the house. I got packages over there to go mow. Yes. And then I got to figure out what to do with the internet over there. And then I'll be moved in. So that'll be bueno.
Would your internet connection, would it be ready for next week's show, or you think you're going to be back where you are now?
Who knows, man?
Who knows?
In the world of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, who knows how long everything takes?
True.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got everything you need, though. You don't have to buy anything, or house from before.
This is going to be Google Fiber. So, which is a gig internet. 1,000 megabytes per second. So that's going to be awesome. Also 1,000.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Okay.
That's one of the benefits of having fiber instead of cable or satellite internet or any of that. The download and upload speed is both 1,000 if you hardwire LAN it in. So that's going to be awesome. But the cool thing about Google is they send you the routers for free, and you schedule installation for it also for free, and they don't charge you until your internet is up and working.
Cool.
Yeah. But I don't know how long that's going to take. Usually if you get free stuff, they put you in the back of the bus. So we will see what happens.
Well, I mean, they're going to be watching all of your traffic and trying to, customize your advertisement versus on basically all of your online activities. So that's a big part of their revenue plan going forward. So there is a cost. I mean, it's the same thing with Microsoft, right? So when they gave Windows 10 for free, every keystroke, everything you do on the computer, including using Word and Excel and stuff, they're logging fucking everything for the So you can't really win,
Yeah, I'll have to stop Googling industrial society and its future,
yeah, Ted Kaczynski's not happy. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get into the topic, but maybe you could answer the question I was asking about where you wanted the topic to go. And it may look like we end up doing it next week, but maybe do this like a little primer, like an advertisement for next week, if anything.
An elevator pitch
as to what the topic was about, where you wanted it to go.
Yeah, so I think spirituality and violence is a huge topic for me personally, because a lot of my family is either on the police side. My dad's side has a lot of cops in their life. My mother's stepfather's side have a lot of Korean and Vietnam military veterans, and there are a lot of military people. And so I've always been surrounded by violent jobs, but we're also all Christians. And so there's a lot of times you see all these debates about, like, are spiritual people supposed to be pacifists? Are we allowed to do self-defense? Are we allowed to do war? There's a lot of those open-ended things. Like, a lot of people say, maybe don't murder is cut and dry, but how do you even define that, right? Is war murder? Is self-defense murder? You can get some people that even go extreme saying if you play Call of Duty or Halo, that's murder, right? You're simulating it.
Really? Well, yeah. Adultery is in the eyes, is in your heart, not what you do. That's an interesting take on it. I wonder.
Yeah,
that would have been a good discussion.
Yeah, and there's plenty of places like, what does it mean to turn the other cheek? I know Bobby has touched on that in the past.
Yes.
Pour one out for the homie, but just for the record, he's not dead. He's just not able, but to hang out with us much anymore. Yes, he's moved on from us Cretans. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what would be your Cliff's Notes take on it, Brooke? Where would you want to see this going?
I mean, I now that you've kind of explained it, I think there's a lot to be said. I know you also touched on the issue of holy wars, both crusade and jihad and stuff like that. Abu American would have been fantastic, and hopefully we'll get him on either this week or next week to get into that topic. The church history is great. Like, coming more from the Eastern Orthodox perspective, we talk about the great schism between the Latin Church and the Orthodox Church. I think back in like 1054, but the real break between the East and the West actually happened in like 1200 and something with the sacking of Constantinople, where the Crusaders basically got lost off track and they turned to the Constantinople and they sacked the entire city and they killed the bishops. And so that's like the real schism between the East and the West. It's not necessarily a doctrinal thing. It was the Latins and the Eastern Church were killing each other for hundreds of years. So yeah, definitely a good discussion. I would have gone down that road. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in there seems to be a pacifist movement that's kind of come into the church as well.
Mm-hmm.
This, again, taking the words of Jesus out of context about turning the other cheek. Are we allowed to defend ourselves? And we forget that, I think we said this in one of the earlier episodes, where God tends to deal with the individual very different to how he deals with the nation. So with the individual, yes, when Jesus commissioned his disciples to go out after the crucifixion, he said, yeah, take a sword. If you don't have one, go and get one to defend yourself. But also he makes a statement, Paul says it, that, the soldier, which was like the policeman, doesn't carry the sword in vain. And, throughout the Psalms and stuff, God talks about using nations as instruments of judgment upon other nations. So Rome would sack Jerusalem as God's judgment and stuff like that. So it's a fascinating concept.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to unpack with that. So hopefully, I think it would be different if we have Abu on. We want to respect his time as a guest.
Mm-hmm.
We want to hear mostly his perspective. But yeah, I'm sure you and myself, we could have a fantastic discussion. Hopefully Amos could join us at some point and we could flush that out for quite a bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Alrighty. Well, yeah. So yeah, it looks like since we are 2 men down than what was, planned, we'll probably throw it off to the next week and cut this one a little bit short.
Heather is in the chat, so we just say hi to Heather.
Hello, Heather, the robot. Still haven't convinced me. Her name now is Heather 3000. That's how you know That's how you know you're a robot, if you have a cool amount of thousands at the end of your name.
Yeah. Like HAL 1000. Was it HAL 9000? I can't remember what it was. 2001.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
I mean, before we go, maybe share a little bit of your Cliff Notes. What do you kind of hope to get out of it in the discussion?
Yeah, I think, to me, I don't think it's as cut and dry as we're either pacifists or we can go full blown, right?
Right.
Kind of the root, pitch of most of my spirituality and how I understand it is that faith and religion is like inherently a subjective experience at the end of the day.
Yes.
We could share a lot of commonalities, like believing in Christ and the cross or believing in a deity. But I mean, how that it is expressed in you, even within your own religion, in quotes, of Christianity or Islam and things like that, like it does also get expressed to you differently, right?
Correct.
And so I feel like the faith is inherently subjective. So I think it's hard to make those types of blanket statements that, all Christians should be pacifist or all religious people should be, fighting for what's right. Sometimes, we don't need to do that.
I agree.
And so, yeah. So, I think it's an interesting gray area I want to explore more, both on the macro scale, like you were talking about, like
Yes.
past religious wars. Like it's interesting that a lot of, at least in the Christian sphere, a lot of them are okay with the Old Testament wars, but everybody also shuns the Crusades and those types were evil. Post-Jesus wars are bad, but pre-Jesus wars are good. And there's all of that kind of weird hodgepodge. And then there's also the micro scale of like the individual in violence, right?
Yes.
Like should Christians learn self-defense? Should Christians, let
Defend
people
the
beat
Second
them up?
Amendment.
Yeah, be a doormat for the Lord, or should we be, gun-toting, fighting for rights, fighting to save the West, or whatever your catchphrase is this week of the Weekend Warrior? Should Christians even be involved in the military? Should you be doing violence on the behalf of the state? Right? That's both like police and military. You're doing violence, but it's not even out of yourself. It's out of the state, and you have to follow state orders of how you use your violence. So I think all of it's really interesting, and I think Abu American has such an awesome perspective in his own life experiences where he kind of checks all of those boxes. He's been involved in all of it, right? So I think
Correct.
he was like one of the ideal guests for this show. So I'm really excited to hash all that out.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't heard anything from him, so it doesn't look like we're going to be doing the full show today.
Yeah, we'll rain check it for most likely next week. We'll put out an official update for sure, like Tuesday or Wednesday, and we'll try to hard confirm what we're doing next week for you guys. So
what channel is it on? Is it on mine? I think it comes to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we could keep it on yours. I mean, I know this is a topic that you're interested in, so keep it on yours for next week to get a full episode in.
Yeah, well, how about whatever violence episode we do next, we'll do here, and if we're still having guest or connection issues or net issues and stuff, we can bookmark it for a later time, right? All right.
Yeah. All right. So once again, we've had a couple people jump in. We're not doing the full show today because Abu American was not able to show up, and I don't think either of us really have a lot outside of supporting our guests to really have a full conversation. So we're going to be cutting it short today, and we're going to be picking it up next week, either here or on one of the other channels.
All right. Awesome. Yep. Follow all of our Twitters and Facebook pages, and we'll keep you up to date. Yeah. All right. Well, you all have a good one.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.